and let you know how it tastes. It smells really good. Oh, that's yummy. The prawns are really juicy and succulent. Hi everyone and welcome back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis, and in today's video I want to share with you how to make this simple but tasty prawn risotto. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make a really delicious, simple but tasty prawn risotto. So this recipe, as I said, is really easy to do and it is really tasty, I promise you. It uses very few ingredients, but the ingredients it does use gives this risotto a lot of flavour. So the first thing I've done is I've put a large pan and I'm going to put that onto a high heat on my hob, and I'm going to add oil to the base of this pan, and I'm going to leave this pan to heat up. But before I go, I just want to say that if you have enjoyed this video today and you'd like to see more, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you did really enjoy this video, then please feel free to give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions or any comments, then please leave those in the comments section below. Everything like that really helps me out and I would really appreciate it. So as I said, I'm going to leave this pan to heat up. The pan is getting nice and hot, so what I've done is I have sliced a leek. So I've just simply topped and tailed the leek. So I've taken the top and the bottom, the scraggly bits from the leek, and then I've just sliced it into about 1/2 centimetre pieces, I'd say. I'm going to pop this into my frying pan, or my saucepan, sorry, and I'm going to fry the leek until it starts to soften. It should take around 3 to 5 minutes depending on your hob. I'm also going to turn the heat down a little bit on this because it is a wee bit too high. And as I said, I'm just going to continue to fry this until it starts to soften. The leek has started to soften. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a carrot. In the original recipe I said courgette, but I don't have any courgettes in my fridge today, so I am actually using a carrot instead. And I've just simply peeled and grated it. You don't have to grate it if you don't want to, but I find that this cooks a lot quicker if I grate the vegetables. And also, hopefully, fingers crossed, because it's a carrot they might see it today, but normally if it's a courgette, my husband and son won't normally see it, but as it's a carrot, they might, but I'm fingers crossed the rice and everything else will disguise the carrot. So I'm just going to fry this carrot until it just warms through. I'm going to be boiling everything in chicken stock in a moment, so it doesn't really need to cook. It just basically needs to warm through so that when the chicken stock hits it, it will hopefully cook very nicely. So the next thing I've got is some risotto rice. So I've got about 175 grams. I'm serving this as if I'm serving my husband, myself and my son. So I'm doing like 2.5 portions. So basically just for a little one. In the original recipe, I said this should serve 4 people. So I've done 300 grams. Obviously, depending on the amount of people, will depend on how much rice you want to put in there. I normally do it as 75 grams per person, and then a little bit for my son. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fry this rice until it starts to become clear and see-through, which should really take around 30 seconds to a minute. So I'm hoping at any time soon it will start to become clear and see-through, and then we can start to add our stock. Now in a risotto, a traditional risotto recipe, you would add wine, but I don't really drink alcohol, so I don't see the point in opening a bottle of wine and then just pouring it away afterwards. It's normally white wine, and I find it's still as tasty without the wine basically. So this has started to go clear and see-through now. So what I'm going to do is I've got some chicken stock here. You can use vegetable stock if you want to, or you could use fish stock because this is a prawn risotto. I'm using chicken stock because this is homemade and this is what I had in the freezer. And I'm just adding a little bit at a time. So I'm just going to add enough to cover the rice, and then I'm just going to turn the heat back up. And I'm going to bring this to the boil, and I'm going to let the rice absorb this amount of stock. So the stock, the bottom of the pan, when I pull the rice back, will be clear. So I'm going to let this absorb all the stock, and then I will add a little bit more. So yes, I'm just going to leave this rice to absorb the stock. The pan has started to come to the boil, so I'm just going to turn the heat down again, and I'm going to leave this to simmer until all of the liquid has disappeared. The liquid has disappeared, so what I'm going to do is the same thing again. I'm just going to add a little bit more liquid to the base of the pan, like so. I'm going to let this come to the boil, so I'm just going to turn the heat up, and then when it comes to the boil I will leave it to simmer. So it was simmering for a good 5-10 minutes there. And yeah, so I'm just going to leave this to come to the boil. I think it's actually coming to the boil now, so I'm going to turn this down again. That was quick. And I'm just going to leave it until all of the liquid has disappeared. There's no liquid in the bottom of that pan, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the last bit of liquid to the pan. And again, I'm going to turn the heat up and bring this to the boil. It shouldn't take long. And it's cooked beautifully as well. The rice looks lovely and soft. So I used about 600 mils of chicken stock for this recipe. I did use the same amount of chicken stock with the rice, so you might want to add a little bit more chicken stock, maybe 800 mils if you're doing the full recipe, which serves 4. So yes, as I said, I'm just going to leave this to absorb the liquid once more. The liquid has disappeared once again, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the green beans now, like so. So I've just used a handful of green beans. If you love green beans, then please add more. My husband and son are great fans, so I only ever add a little bits of things, just to try and get them used to it. And then I'm just going to add a couple of pinches of salt as well, salt and pepper to your taste. And then I'm going to add some pepper as well. I'm going to turn the heat down in a moment, but I'm going to add in the prawns now. So I want the prawns to be able to cook. So I'm just going to add those to the base of the pan, like so. And I'm going to mix these in to the risotto until they turn pink. So I am using uncooked prawns for this recipe. You can use cooked prawns and just basically add them in at the end, but what I would say if you are using cooked prawns is don't overcook them because they tend to go rubbery. So just put them in, warm them through for about 30 seconds, and then that is basically your dinner done. But with uncooked prawns, just wait for them to go pink. It will take about 3 to 4 minutes, maybe a bit more, but they will eventually turn pink. And I'm just going to keep stirring them in until they do. As you can see, the prawns have gone pink. So what I've done is I've turned the heat off, and I'm going to remove this from the heat in a moment, and I will serve some and let you know how it tastes. But before I do, I just want to say that I do realise that risotto is traditionally meant to have cheese in it, but I have a slight dairy allergy, so I can't actually eat cheese. So what I like to do is I like to add nutritional yeast to mine. So nutritional yeast is a plant that tastes like cheese. It doesn't melt like cheese, but it does taste like it. So I add that to mine, and then I will add cheddar cheese to my husband and sons because they prefer that over Parmesan. So yes, I realise that this is meant to have cheese in it, and if you want to add cheese at this point, then please do, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to serve some up and let you know how it tastes. But right now, this smells so good. As you can see, I've served some into a bowl, and I'm going to try a little bit now and let you know how it tastes. It smells really good. Oh, that's yummy. The prawns are really juicy and succulent, and the rice is really soft. I'm really tasty with the chicken stock as well. That was homemade chicken stock as well that I made yesterday, and I have got a recipe on that which I will link in the description box below for you. But yes, I'm loving this, and I'm really looking forward to having it for my dinner this evening. That's how you make this delicious prawn risotto, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be having this for our dinner this evening, and it smells and tastes so good, I can't wait. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.